So I'm Casey Gibbons. I'm also your church secretary, so you guys probably mostly know me. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. Our household consisted of two of my brothers and my full sister. And when I was younger, and my mom's boyfriend, there was a ton of various drug abuses and severe alcohol abuse. Terrible life choices. From age 2 to 12, it's a rough start for a kid. I had a lot of abuse on the sexual, emotional, and physical levels. To really pinpoint down the extreme of that, when I went into foster care, I was almost 12. And they had color-coded folders. They were simple abuse, or like simple neglect, which is a terrible way of saying that, was green, and the worst of worst was black, because you can't go any darker than evil than that. Mine and other siblings were black. I remember it mostly from back when, about 7 to 9. I have forever scars that date till I was 2. That's how I know when the abuse had started. And so some things that I remember are when my mom's boyfriend, he had a daughter, and she came to live with us. And I believe it was about 4th grade for me. She was my only friend. So, he would hurt her really bad. He would hurt us as well, but her the most. And things I remember are always trying to protect her. I felt a deepness in my heart to protect her the most. A memory I'll always remember, and I do it with Audrey, my daughter, is that after an abuse, I would sneak in her room, and it wasn't even her own room, it was like this open area in the downstairs, and we would draw on each other's backs just as a comfort, and I'd draw silly things, but she could always guess what they were. And my real mom would, she never showed her an ounce of love. And when she showed it to us, you didn't think it was love. It was very in front of strangers and things like that. And so growing up, we didn't know what love really was. We know that we saw other parents like hugging kids and loving them, but you don't know what love is if you don't experience it. I knew my grandma liked me, but I didn't understand really. She has her own demons in her life too, and so I just remember going day by day, feeling alone and hurt, and not understanding why my life was like this when all other kids' lives weren't. And my mom worked for the Loon Lake Lodge, and she would clean all the cabins up there. And I remember she made us do all the gross stuff first, which I laugh, which is probably wasn't a nice thing she did. And I remember finding this purple Bible, and I was about, I believe, almost 9. And I remember I hid it. Actually, I was still chunky then, so I could hide it well. And I just know that I thought it was really cool. It was so pretty, and I didn't have anything on my own that was pretty. And so I remember taking it home and hiding it way under the bed. And when they would all finally pass out or, not be there, I could read it. And I remember thinking, this guy in this book has gone through a lot. and he still loves people and still does things for people. And I was like, if this man named Jesus could do this, then I could help people too. And I knew that. I didn't understand why his father would have him go through these things. I didn't think he was a very nice father, being young. And I'm thinking, wow, that's a tough thing to go through with your parent not, and because I didn't understand that it was a love that the Lord had for us at that time. But I just remember being able to really understand the pain that Jesus could be feeling. One time, and I laugh about it, but it's not funny to some people, is I had protected a sibling so they wouldn't get beat. And so I had said that I had taken something that I hadn't taken so they wouldn't get in trouble. And my mom's boyfriend started pushing me, and he pushed me out on the deck. And it was an older deck, and I fell about 10 feet. But it wasn't just a landing, it was down the hill. And I remember going and being so thankful to go through all these salmonberry brushes and stuff because they couldn't get to me. I just kept sliding because it was on a really, really tall hill. And just going through that, and I finally stopped, and I was hurt and bleeding, but I remember laughing and smiling, and it just started, I don't remember, I think I started just braiding the berry stems and just talking with Jesus. I had an opportunity to help my mom's boyfriend's daughter because she had had enough. She was now in the 7th grade, and she had finally told her friend's mom about the abuse that was going on. But in order for her to get out of the house, they needed a distraction. So I remember telling her that I would do that because we all wanted out. We all wanted out of there. And so I broke this plate that had our baby handprints on it because I knew that would make the most ruckus. And I did it, and I remember doing it loud, and they all came running, and she was able to slip out. That was the last time I had seen my mom's boyfriend's daughter until I was 25. I was able to go and visit her. But I am so thankful for her bravery. And I know that hurt people can hurt people. And I knew that I didn't want to be someone who had been hurt that would hurt other people. And so I was able to go to camp once I was in foster care. And I was so thankful. I was 12, and it was my first freedom, and then I got to learn how loving Jesus' father really was. Because not only did he love Jesus, but he loved us. And he loves us every day. I struggle with feeling worthy of an unconditional love. And so when you don't know what that is, you can't imagine being worthy of this amazing thing. And I remember asking the Lord to guide me and show me why did I go through what I went through. And still being thankful, especially once I realized, that God was Jesus. That I had no idea that he was there. He was there through the pain. He was there during the abuse. I would just close my eyes and talk with him, and I could escape with him. And over the past year, he's able to show me how everything that I've gone through, you can take the hurts that you go through and truly use them. I was able to talk with someone just on the phone today, and they were struggling and didn't think they'd be able to overcome these giant struggles that they have. And I said, let me tell you about my story. Do you know anything about my story? And even a year ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Not because I'm ashamed, but because I didn't feel I had the answers from the Lord. And I now know that in sharing my story, I can help people, not just in ways of connecting with them. So when you tell someone you understand, and everyone feels this, that if someone's been through it and they say I understand, you know that at that moment your heart has now stringly attached to someone, because they do understand. They do, and it's more meaningful. And when you say the Lord has brought me through this, they can have hope that the Lord's going to bring them through it. And He will. He will in ways that you can't even imagine.